and this is a video about how we attempted to restructure the sulfur water well that I grew up with when I was at home. I moved to a house in Hancock County, Ohio, where my dad actually grew up there. His dad bought the property in the early 1900s and built the house, built the barns, and built everything out of the timber that was in the back of the property. And now both my parents have deceased. It was up to my brothers and my sister and I to clean out all of the house and the barns and everything. And this was our last go around at the end of May. And knowing that the well is a sulfur water well, and I knew the history of the well, I wanted to see if structured water would help that, and just what would be the effect, how would this turn out. So I took along my little portable unit, my shower unit, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. I just knew that there was a well there's a hydrant, and could we even do this? So my brother happened to have a 25-foot section of hose that's for RVs and that sort of thing, and that you could drink out of. And it's one of the white hoses. I didn't know that there was anything like that. So I bought another one. I bought a second white hose and hooked it up. And my dog wants to tell us all about it. The pieces that I also bought to do the hooking up with, one of these, and one of these. I'm an English major. I don't know what these things are called. These are brass fittings, and then there's the Teflon tape that I thought I had around here, but I can't find it at the moment. Anyway, we hooked everything up to the hose and my portable unit, and I'll tell you right now what we found. After the first day or so of dripping, and we figured this out, it's about 144 gallons a day going from the hydrant, coming out through the hose, going through the structured unit, back into my hose, and then dripping that into the well. So 144 gallons of water going in a day. And after about the first day, you could tell a difference. The water tasted a little less sulfury, it smelled a little less sulfury, and it definitely tasted rounder. My explanation for how the water tastes is it tastes round. So I could tell a difference by just the taste of it tasting rounder, and it didn't taste like it had edges to it. I can kind of taste edges. Kind of a strange way to describe water. Anyway, so after the first couple of days, we were definitely telling a difference. My brother noticed, and he was washing out, and we had a second hydrant way down by the barn. He was washing out the back end of his truck with a hose at that hydrant. And he said that normally in times past, when he would use the hose and use and this was connected to the sulfur well, and he would hook it up for that long, 2 or 3 or 5 minutes to wash out the back of his truck, it would just be really, really sulfury smelling, and he could hardly stand it. He just couldn't stand to be around the well, and it would almost make him pass out. It was so strong. So when he used the structured water on about the second day of structuring the well, and it reached as far down as the barn, and he could tell a little bit of sulfur smell, but it didn't make him pass out, or it just didn't give him that strong effect like it normally would have. And there was a definite positive difference. By the third and fourth day, so we hooked it up on Sunday morning and let it run in there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I disconnected it then on Thursday afternoon. So by Wednesday, Thursday, I could take a gallon of water out of the kitchen sink, the sulfur well, and just put the gallon of water on the counter and leave it out there for 8 hours or so. And after 8 hours or overnight-ish, you couldn't tell that there was ever any sulfur in there. It was just amazing. It was nice water. It was clear water. It was good water. Tasted good. There might be a couple little black flakes in there, but you could make coffee with it with no effects whatsoever. It was just amazing. And then, my dog's having a big time here, squeaking his squeaker toy. And then I disconnected it Thursday to see how it would behave, to see if the structuring would stay there forever and ever, which is what I was really hoping. And it definitely started going back to tasting and smelling sulfur. So by Saturday afternoon, by the time that I was ready to leave, it was just as strong sulfur smell and taste as it ever was when I was growing up there. And I was kind of surprised because I thought this would have a long-term lasting effect, but it didn't. But boy, by the time, or at the time that we had it all hooked up and it was dripping water into the well, the water from the well tasted wonderful, and there was very, very little smell in it while that was all hooked up. I don't know how long it would take to restructure a whole aquifer permanently, and that would probably be a question for Clayton to answer, but I don't know the answer to that question. But that was our experience. So I was really excited. I thought this was a very positive experience, and definitely, if I had grown up there, having had the option to choose whether or not to have a structured water unit on the well and have that available all the time, boy, there's no question I would have had the structured water unit on the well, definitely. And I would have drank water growing up. I just never drank the water because you could hardly tell. You just didn't want to drink the water because it tasted bad, it smelled bad, and a little bit, okay. You have to drink a little water. I suppose I grew up thinking, I don't really tell. I can't really tell. It's what I grew up with. That's what all water tastes and smells like, right? Well, it doesn't. And I didn't know that there was such a thing as good tasting in water that didn't really have an odor. So there you have it. And I'll show the rest of this now.
Experimenting.
So you want to describe how this is all set up now that we've got it all set up? What we did was we took two hoses, joined them together. Oh, nice little spider crawling across there now. There's the unit. I put a mini shower unit there and connected two hoses together. And it's hooked up to the hydrant over there. We put some Teflon tape at the joints. Got it set up so it's going to drip here in the well. And we're putting the cap back on, and we'll just let this sit here for a while. You want to describe the sulfur well a little bit?
The sulfur water in the well is fairly pungent, and sometimes you can smell it when you walk in the door of the house, but in some days it's a lot worse than other days. But we're looking for a good way to clean up this well and the water, and we'll see how this works.
Yeah. All right, thanks. This is the water dripping out of our into our well from our structured unit, which is over there. The unit is right there in the grass. And I'm going to measure the amount of water that's falling in there in 1 minute. So I have collected water that would normally be going into the well, into the bottom of this quart jar. So I will go measure that to see what it is. There's no markings, so I can't tell exactly just from the jar how much it is. Looks like it's about a cup and a half in a minute, but I will measure that exactly. And I will say we've been testing the water now that it's been about a day and a half since we started this well structuring project. And we can tell a definite difference in the taste of the water and the smell of the water and the texture of the water. So it's obviously making a difference. The water that's coming out of the faucet at the kitchen sink, that's where the water goes. It has a smoother taste, and if you run it through a portable unit once after it comes out of the spigot, to me it tastes better. To some in the family it tastes worse, and they prefer the water that's just coming out of the faucet straight. So I guess everybody has their own taste preferences. But it's definitely changing the taste of the water, and it's been a day and a half that we've had this project set up. I'm excited. How much water came out of the, what's our amount per minute? It's a little bit less than a cup per minute coming in, going from the structured unit, from the well back into the well, from the hydrant through the structured unit into the well. It looks like it's about, this is a cup measure. Yeah, looks like it's a little bit more than 3/4 of a cup. So it's not very fast. It's a little trickle, and that's, there we go. We've decided that it's 3/4 of a cup per minute, which is 6 ounces per minute, the flow rate out of our hose into the well. So I'm happy to share this information. I hope you found it useful. And if you have any questions, please visit me at www.crystalstarwater.com. You can buy a unit, you can read other customer comments, read some of my experiences, and there's more information there. Thanks for watching.